Did you know that the very first 60 minutes after you wake up may quietly be steering your life toward either vitality or decline? It sounds dramatic, but it's not fiction. That sacred first hour is like the conductor of your daily symphony. If the baton rises to silence, disarray follows. But if it begins with harmony, the entire day and your entire future can shift. Here's the truth. Most people are unknowingly writing the first chapter of their health decline each morning, before their toast is buttered, before their first sip of coffee. Tiny choices, often unnoticed, are silently shaving off years from their lives. But what if that didn't have to be you? What if I told you that the people who live vibrantly into their 90s and beyond, those who still walk without pain, laugh without forgetting the punchline, and feel like themselves when they look in the mirror, share 7 morning habits that most of us completely overlook? And the best part? One of these habits takes just 30 seconds, but could buy you years. These aren't magic tricks or ancient secrets hidden in remote villages, though we'll talk about a few of those later. These are practical, proven, and shockingly simple daily actions, validated by science but rarely mentioned by most doctors. Let me introduce you to Walter. When Walter turned 65, life was beginning to dim around him. His friends were slowing down, heart attacks, strokes, memory lapses. Some stopped driving, others withdrew from the world, living more in the past than the present. Walter feared he was next. But today, Walter is 93. He still drives himself to the grocery store. He cooks his own meals. And 3 times a week, he volunteers at his community garden, hands deep in the soil, planting seeds not just in the earth, but in the lives of those around him. What changed? It wasn't luck. It wasn't his genes. His father passed at 71, his older brother at 73. What changed was one moment. A health seminar at his local library introduced him to 7 powerful morning habits. They seemed small, almost too simple to matter. But Walter made a decision. If I can do these each morning, maybe I have a shot at something better. So he started, 1 habit at a time. A glass of water here, a few minutes in the sun there, a shift in what he ate for breakfast, a breath, a stretch, a call to a friend, a word of gratitude. And over time, these became his armor. I wake up with purpose, he told me, and that changes everything. Today, I want to show you exactly what Walter does every single morning that's helped him not only survive, but thrive. Are you ready to learn the 7 morning habits that could rewire your body, sharpen your mind, and possibly help you live not just longer, but better? Let's begin. Habit 1, immediate hydration. Before your feet even touch the floor in the morning, your body's already sending out an urgent request, one that most people ignore. It's not for coffee, it's not for food, it's for water. You see, overnight, while your mind was dreaming and your body was at rest, your cells were working tirelessly. They were repairing tissues, clearing out waste, and keeping your heart quietly ticking. But in doing so, they were also slowly running dry. By the time you open your eyes, your body is like a wilted plant at dawn, parched and pleading for nourishment. And yet, most people don't respond. They shuffle to the kitchen, pour a hot cup of coffee, maybe nibble a pastry, and never realize that their first act of the day is sabotaging their heart, their brain, and their energy. But those who live the longest, they know better. They hydrate immediately. Studies from Harvard Medical School show that morning dehydration can increase blood viscosity by over 30%, creating what doctors call blood sludging. Imagine syrup trying to flow through delicate pipes. Your heart strains, your brain slows. Tiny vessels in your kidneys and memory centers begin to suffer microscopic injuries that silently add up over the years. Dr. Jessica Rothman, a leading renal health expert at Harvard, puts it simply, dehydration is the aging accelerator nobody talks about. Let me tell you about Sylvia. At 72, Sylvia was battling constant fatigue, cloudy memory, and early-stage kidney trouble. Her doctors were whispering the word dialysis, and every test seemed to bring more bad news. She was scared, she was tired, and she was ready to try anything. Then she heard something so simple it almost felt silly. Drink 16 ounces of water first thing in the morning, before anything else. So she did. Not with lemon, not with ice, just plain, room temperature water. She placed a full glass on her nightstand each night, and each morning before standing up, she drank it. 60 days later, her blood work stunned her doctor. Kidney function? Up 28%. Energy? Back, memory, sharper. Her doctor asked what new medication she was taking. Sylvia just smiled and said, "Water. You can do this too. In fact, you must. Here's your step-by-step. Tonight, place a glass of water next to your bed. Not a sip, but a full glass. When you wake, before your feet even hit the floor, drink the entire thing. Slowly, intentionally. Like it matters, because it does. No coffee, no tea, not yet. Water. Think of it as the first kind gesture you give your body every morning. A way of saying, I'm listening, I care, I want you to keep going. The longest-lived people in the world don't see this as optional. They see it as essential, as vital as brushing their teeth or locking their front door. So, will you honor your body with water tomorrow morning? Because the clock is ticking, and every drop matters. Habit 2. Natural light exposure. Every morning, your body waits for a signal, not from your alarm clock, not from your phone, but from the sun. See, your body is more than flesh and blood. It's a finely tuned timepiece. And that clock inside you, the one that governs your energy, your memory, your metabolism, even your immune system, doesn't run on batteries. It runs on light. Specifically, natural morning light. When you step outside in those first 30 minutes after waking, it's as if you're flipping a master switch in your biology. Sunlight hits your eyes even through clouds and travels directly to a part of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your body's central timekeeper. From there, a cascade of messages is sent to every cell, telling them, wake up, repair, heal, optimize. But skip this light? Stay indoors with only lamps and screens? Your internal rhythm slips off beat. It's like trying to play a symphony when the orchestra has no conductor. The science is staggering. Research from the National Institute on Aging found that getting natural light within 30 minutes of waking boosts nighttime melatonin by 73%. That means deeper sleep, better memory, lower blood pressure, and a more stable mood throughout the day. Miss it, and you raise your risk of neurodegenerative conditions by nearly 40% after age 70. Let me introduce you to Benjamin. Benjamin was 75 and exhausted, not from working, but from not sleeping. Decades of insomnia had stolen his spark. He tried melatonin, white noise, sleep clinics. Nothing lasted. Then his doctor gave him a strange prescription. Sit outside for 10 minutes each morning. Rain or shine, Benjamin sat on his front porch. Sometimes he read the newspaper. Sometimes he just sipped coffee and listened to birds. Within 2 weeks, he was falling asleep faster and waking up rested. But that wasn't all. His blood pressure dropped. His afternoon brain fog vanished. It felt like my body was finally working with me, he told me, not against me. Here's how you can do the same. Step outside within 30 minutes of waking, ideally barefoot on the grass, but even your balcony or front steps work. No sunglasses. Let the light reach your eyes even on cloudy days. If you can't go out, open your blinds wide and sit by a window. Even 5 minutes helps. In winter or bad weather, use a medical-grade light therapy lamp. But remember, nothing beats the real sun. This isn't about just sleep. It's about resetting the entire operating system of your body. Like tuning a piano before a concert. Are you willing to give your body that signal tomorrow? Because your cells are waiting. Your brain is listening. And the sun has always been the oldest, most reliable healer we have. Step outside. Step into rhythm. Step into your future. Habit 3. Gentle morning movement. Picture your body first thing in the morning like an old wooden door, hinges stiff, reluctant to move, creaking slightly with every shift. That stiffness, it's not just age, it's a message. A quiet plea from your joints, your muscles, your very cells whispering, wake me up gently, please don't leave me frozen. And yet many of us ignore that call. We sit, we shuffle. We wait until after coffee or breakfast to stretch or walk. But by then, the window of opportunity has narrowed. The magic of early movement is in what happens before the first bite, before the caffeine, before the mind races ahead. You see, gentle movement in the morning doesn't just loosen your body, it activates something much deeper, your internal cleanup crew. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic have found that light movement before eating kicks off a cellular repair process called autophagy. Think of it as your body's own janitor service, sweeping away damaged cells, reducing inflammation, and protecting the very joints you rely on to stay independent. Dr. Lisa Monroe, Chief of Geriatric Medicine at Mayo, explains, "We've seen a 65% reduction in joint deterioration in older adults who practice gentle pre-breakfast movement. It's like giving your knees and hips a daily oil change." Let me tell you about Harriet. At 68, arthritis had taken over her mornings. Every step was a battle. She was on the brink of knee replacement surgery until her physical therapist gave her one final suggestion: move first thing every day before breakfast. Just 7 minutes. No weights, no strain, just simple, loving motion. So Harriet began, ankle circles in bed, gentle shoulder rolls, side-to-side sways while brushing her teeth. 3 months later, her pain had lessened so dramatically, her surgery was canceled. She now plays tag with her grandkids. In her words, "I thought I was done. Turns out I just hadn't started the day right." So how do you start? Tomorrow morning, before you reach for the coffee or toast, give your body 5 to 10 minutes of light, intentional movement. Not exercise, not a workout, just motion that feels kind. Try this. While sitting, roll your ankles in slow circles, then your wrists. Standing, gently sway side to side. Swing your arms softly like a pendulum. Reach for the sky, then reach for your toes just a bit. Bend your knees, shift your hips. Rotate your neck gently like you're greeting the morning sun. No pain, no pushing, just presence. This short ritual does something remarkable. It signals your body, we're still in this. We're still moving forward. So many seniors believe stiffness means they're falling apart, but often it's just their body waiting for permission to begin again. Will you give your body that permission tomorrow? Because the joints that move last, and the ones that sit still, they quietly rust away. Wake up your body, set it free. Habit 4, the 30-second breathing practice. Before the world rushes in, before you check the news or glance at your phone, there is a moment, quiet and untouched. And in that moment, your breath is waiting for you. Most people don't notice it. They wake up already bracing themselves, tight in the chest, shallow in the lungs, hearts racing toward a to-do list. But what if before everything else, you paused and gave your body the message it's been longing to hear? You are safe. You are calm. We are in no danger. It's okay to heal now. This is the hidden power of intentional breathing. You see, how you breathe in the first minutes of your morning doesn't just shape your mood. It recalibrates your entire nervous system. It sets the tone for how your body will handle stress, inflammation, blood pressure, even digestion for the rest of the day. Research from blue zones, those rare places where people often live past 100, reveals something remarkable. Nearly every centenarian studied had some form of slow, rhythmic breathing ritual in the early morning. Not meditation, not a complex technique, just a few deep, mindful breaths, often done in silence or while standing in nature. And the impact? Doctors studying these longevity hotspots have measured up to a 48% reduction in cellular stress markers in those who practice slow breathing. Inflammation down, heart rate variability up, cortisol, the stress hormone, cut nearly in half. Dr. Michael Cohen, who spent years researching elders in Sardinia, Italy, calls this morning breathwork the ignition key of longevity. He explains, when you activate the vagus nerve first thing in the morning, your body immediately shifts from fight or flight into healing and restoration. Let me tell you about a man named Emiliano. He's 96, a shepherd in the hills of Sardinia. Every morning, he walks outside, faces the sun, and breathes. Not rushed, not forced, Just a slow inhale, a pause, and a full, quiet exhale. It clears the fog from my heart, he told researchers. It prepares me for a peaceful day. You don't need to live in the mountains to do what Emiliano does. Here's your 30-second practice. It's called the 4-7-8 technique, and it works best right after your morning water, ideally while you're getting sunlight. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale completely through your mouth for 8 seconds, making a soft whoosh sound. Repeat this cycle 3 to 4 times. That's it, just 30 seconds. But those 30 seconds send a message your body rarely hears in today's world. There's no emergency, we're not rushing. We're here to live, not to survive. Most people breathe like they're being chased, but the longest-lived people, they breathe like they're already home. So ask yourself, when was the last time you truly breathed? Tomorrow morning, give yourself that gift. Just 30 seconds. It might be the smallest habit, with the biggest return. Habit 5, protein and fiber-rich breakfast. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but the truth is it's also the most misunderstood. Because while millions of people start their mornings with toast, cereal, muffins, or a quick donut on the run, they're unknowingly fueling inflammation, triggering blood sugar spikes, and accelerating the very aging they're trying to outrun. It's like putting soda in the gas tank of a classic car. You might move for a while, but you're quietly corroding the engine. Now imagine instead that you start your day with the right fuel, clean burning, slow releasing, powerful enough to repair your cells while feeding your energy, your focus, and your longevity. That's what a protein and fiber-rich breakfast can do. Research from the Longevity Nutrition Institute shows that when older adults consume at least 25 grams of high-quality protein and 8 grams of fiber in the morning, their inflammation markers drop by over 50%. That's not theory. That's measurable cellular change. Reduced insulin resistance, sharper cognition, lower blood pressure. Dr. Valerie Richardson, a leading nutritional gerontologist, explains it this way. Your first meal isn't just food, it's instruction. It tells your metabolism what kind of day to have. Repair mode or damage mode, longevity or decline. Let me tell you about Gerald. At 68, he wasn't overweight, but something was off. He had creeping fatigue, brain fog, and a lab report that whispered of prediabetes. His doctor wanted to start medication, but Gerald hesitated. Instead, he changed one thing. He swapped his usual white toast and orange juice for a breakfast bowl of Greek yogurt, chia seeds, walnuts, and fresh berries. It took 5 minutes to prepare. No fanfare, just real food. 6 months later, his blood sugar had normalized. His inflammation dropped. His energy returned. His doctor asked what magic pill he'd found. No pill, Gerald said, just breakfast. So what should you eat tomorrow morning? Here's a simple formula to follow. Protein, eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu, cottage cheese, or plant-based options like lentils or protein shakes. Fiber, berries, oats, chia seeds, flax seeds, vegetables. Even last night's leftovers can work. Healthy fats, a handful of walnuts, slices of avocado, a drizzle of olive oil. And just as important, what to avoid? Refined carbs like white bread, sugary cereals, or pastries. These spike insulin, trigger inflammation, and leave you crashing by mid-morning. Think of your breakfast as the foundation beneath a house. If it's cracked and unstable, everything built on top wobbles. But with the right base, your whole day stands taller. You don't need to cook a gourmet meal. You don't need to spend more money. You're already eating breakfast. Just make that moment count. So, what will you put on your plate tomorrow morning? Because your body isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for nourishment, for real sustaining fuel, for a quiet promise that you're not just eating to get by, you're eating to live long and live well. The choice is yours, and it starts with just one bite. Habit 6. Morning social connection. Before the day swells with noise, before responsibilities pull you in every direction, there's a quiet window, a sacred moment. Not just for yourself, but for someone else. And in that window, a simple good morning can add years to your life. It might sound too simple, But the science is undeniable. Meaningful human connection, especially in the early hours, can lower your risk of chronic illness, depression, even early death. In fact, the effects of morning social connection are so powerful that researchers say loneliness may be more dangerous than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in. And what's more, when you connect matters just as much as that you connect. According to an 80-year Harvard study, people who have meaningful interactions before 10 a.m. enjoy significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease, dementia, and all-cause mortality. Why? Because early social interaction sets the tone for your neurochemistry. Dr. Robert Miller, a lead researcher on that Harvard study, explains it like this. When you connect with another person early in the day, it boosts oxytocin and serotonin, your natural longevity hormones. It resets the brain's emotional thermostat and strengthens the immune system. Let me take you across the world to a tiny village in Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the oldest, healthiest people alive. Each morning, neighbors gather. Some meet outside their homes. Others sit at a nearby bench. They talk for 5, maybe 10 minutes. Nothing formal. Just, how did you sleep? How's your back today? Did you hear the rain last night? And those small moments, they matter. One 97-year-old woman explained, if I don't speak to someone in the morning, my day doesn't feel right. We check on each other. We remind each other we're still here. When researchers studied her, they discovered something astounding. Her inflammation levels and stress markers were similar to someone 30 years younger. So how can you create this for yourself? Here are 3 powerful options. 1. Call someone you love. Even 3 minutes matters. A quick check-in with a friend, sibling, or neighbor isn't just kind, it's medicine. 2. Create a morning ritual with those you live with. Share breakfast. Exchange a meaningful question. Start the day with each other, not around each other. 3. Live alone. Start a check-in club. Reach out to neighbors, fellow churchgoers, or even friends online. A weekly walk, a porch chat, a daily message. The format doesn't matter. The bond does. And if nothing else, find small human moments. Say hello to your mail carrier, your barista, the person walking their dog. Even brief interactions help spark those health-promoting pathways. Think of it this way. Every morning, your body is looking for a signal, not just from food or movement, but from the warmth of another human being. A reminder, I'm not alone. I matter. I belong. And isn't that what we all want at any age? So who will you connect with tomorrow morning? Not because you have to, but because your body and soul are wired for it. This isn't just a nice habit. It's a lifeline. 1 good morning at a time. Habit 7, directed gratitude practice. Every morning, your mind wakes up before your body, and in those first quiet minutes, before the headlines, before the phone rings, before the world rushes in, you have a choice. You can begin your day with worry or with wonder. The longest-lived people on earth make that choice with purpose. They begin each morning not just with breath or movement, but with gratitude. Not vague, forced positivity, not empty mantras, but real, directed, heartfelt thanks aimed straight at the one thing that carries them through life, their own body. This is more than a mindset. It's a neurological strategy for longevity. Neuroscientists at Yale University have discovered something extraordinary. When older adults practice intentional gratitude focused on their physical body, specific regions of the brain light up, especially the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and resilience. In short, you don't just feel better, you function younger. Dr. Sarah Jenkins, an expert in aging and neuroplasticity, explains, we can now see the aging brain literally reorganize itself when gratitude is directed inward, toward the body. Cortisol drops, blood pressure stabilizes, heart rate variability improves. These aren't just feelings, they're physiological facts. Let me tell you about Patricia. At 74, Patricia was struggling. High blood pressure, anxiety. Her cardiologist was concerned. Medications helped a little, but not enough. Then almost by accident, she read about the power of morning gratitude. But instead of journaling random blessings, she tried something different. Each morning after her breathing practice, she placed her hand over her heart and quietly named 3 parts of her body she was grateful for, no matter how imperfect they were. I'm grateful for my eyes that still let me see the morning sun. I'm grateful for my legs that carried me through life, even when they ache. I'm grateful for my heart that beats again and again without ever asking for thanks. She did it for 2 minutes a day. 3 months later, her doctor couldn't believe the shift. Blood pressure down, mood up. Patricia smiled and said, "I didn't change my medicine. I changed my mindset." So how can you do the same? Here's your simple morning ritual. After your breathing practice, sit or lie quietly. Place your hand over your heart or your belly, wherever you feel most connected. Name 3 specific parts of your body you're thankful for and why. Be real, be specific, be kind. This isn't spiritual fluff. It's a physical reset, a way of reminding your body, you are not broken, you are appreciated, you are loved. Too often we wake up focused on what hurts, what's stiff, what's wrong. But when you change that lens, even just a little, you change the chemistry of your morning. You speak life to the very parts of you that need healing, and over time, that whisper of gratitude becomes a chorus. A new soundtrack for aging not with fear, but with grace. So ask yourself, when was the last time you thanked your body? Tomorrow morning, take 2 minutes. No tools, no pills, just presence, just thanks, because your body has been there for you since your first breath. Maybe it's time you return the favor. Now you know. 7 simple habits. None of them require wealth. None demand perfection. Just a few intentional choices in the quiet of your morning. When your body is listening, when your future is still being written. Hydration, light, movement, breath, nourishment, connection, gratitude. They may seem small, but stacked together, they form something powerful. A foundation for longevity, for clarity, for energy in your 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. You don't need to do all 7 tomorrow. Remember Walter? At 65, he was watching the people around him fade, physically, mentally, emotionally, but he chose to begin. Just 2 habits at first. Water, then light. That's all. Over time, those morning moments became sacred. Today at 93, Walter still gardens, still drives, still volunteers, still lives. Not just longer, but better. And he told me this: each habit is like a thread. Alone they're simple, but together they've become the rope that's kept me climbing through life. What kind of rope are you weaving? Because your morning routine is not just about how you start the day, it's about how you shape your destiny. Every drop of water, every breath, every kind word to your body or another soul is an investment. An investment in the version of you that still wants to walk unassisted, that wants to remember names and birthdays, that wants to feel strong, steady, and deeply alive well into your 90s. And you don't need a new year, a Monday, or a fresh notebook to begin. You just need tomorrow morning. So let me ask you, from one heart to another, which habit will you begin with? Just one. That's all it takes to turn the tide. Will you start with a glass of water at sunrise? A few minutes outside in the morning light? A phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in too long? Your body isn't waiting for perfection, it's waiting for action. Because the truth is, age doesn't slow us down, neglect does. And these habits, they're not luxuries, they're your lifelines. If this message stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video to tell YouTube this content matters. Comment below. Which of these habits are you already doing? Which one are you starting tomorrow? Share this video with someone you care about, a spouse, a sibling, a friend. It might just be the gift that adds years to their life. You have the power to shape your future, one morning at a time. Let's begin together.